Alrighty, this will answer two questions from two people. The one that wanted more trout flies, and there was one that wanted some bluegill flies. I know years ago there was a couple gentlemen that would go up there to Bull Shoals Lake. They'd take the customary one float trip for trout, and one gentleman dealt in precious metals, could afford to fish for anything. He spent 2 or 3 weeks catching nothing but bluegill. Anyway, this is for a couple young viewers starting out. Dad's Mustad 33.99 size 8. This is going to be actual size. This time of year, April, when I moved up to Alaska, lived down there in Juneau, I used to fish salt chuck. Salt chuck, basically, for a lot of people that don't know, including Alaskans, when the tide gets up to a certain height, salt water comes in. Thereafter, it's like a lake. There's fresh water on top and salt water underneath. And down there this time of year, the dollies and searun cuts coming back in from the salt water. This here is a candy fly. The gentleman that since left Alaska turned me on to him. Like I said, that's the size 8. It really doesn't take much material at all. In fact, as you can see, I'm using some scrap material. Marabou, nothing beats marabou. I don't think man will ever invent anything like it, but I'm probably wrong in it. Now, if you backcast this, it'll actually float on the water a little bit, and for a few seconds there in the lake. And this time of year, down there are all type. I can't remember the name of the caddis, but it actually comes up, and we put anchors down. In about 15 foot of water, casting. They're coming up, they're hatching. As they hit the surface, they ride a gas bubble up. I saw that in a fly fishing magazine at the time. That's what I figured they were, because they were hatching all over. And those dollies and cutthroat just go crazy for them. But then, there's a big thread. Not the best head on that. Anyway, once you strike it under the surface, strip it once rather, and it goes under the surface, I think they might take it for smoked. These were featured in the videos, which was going to be in my book Fly Trek. It's 4 basic colors. Man, I messed that up. Anyway, let's get on to that. That's a chartreuse white. And these will work for bluegill too, I bet you. But me and that gentleman had more fun. Then we get to row around the lake. Actually, no bigger than most ponds. Juneau doesn't have too big a road system, and you don't want these too thick. Anyway, getting back to that, we tried caddisfly imitations. They wouldn't take them. It's just the way that it came up. When you cast these, they just loved it. It's one of those things you can't hardly explain. Okay, chartreuse and white, yellow and chartreuse. Now, if you want this for bluegill, try this for bluegill. Try a little red in it. Bluegill love red. Don't know why it is. I know you were looking for a spider imitation, but there's a whole lot more bugs and moths and other things for bluegill. These are easy flies. You can tie a whole bunch of them for almost nothing. Okay, chartreuse and white, chartreuse and yellow. Like I said, 4 basic colors. I still got a fly box full of them around here. One of those little multi-compartment boxes you get from Wily World. And believe me, now and then I fish them. They work other times of the year down there, but that is about the best time for it. When that caddisfly is hatching. Like I said, I think they do take them stripped. Sometimes they did want them real fast stripped. I think they were taking them for the smoke that was starting to hatch. Then you got a white and a blue. That doesn't show up on the monitor, but it's kind of like a sky blue. And these at all don't have to be fancy. What I think they take for that caddisfly, it's like I said, they're taking it when it's hatching. It's usually the chartreuse, and that's in the western states too, because that article I read was from gentlemen in the western states. Here again, I don't get into scientific names. I'm more mechanical minded. And I never really tried looking up the insect. But I believe that's what it was. Because they were hitting the surface fast. The caddisfly. Dollies would even jump up in the air after them. And according to that article, as soon as those caddisfly hit the surface, they're ready to fly. Candy fly. I've never used this pattern for much more than that purpose, but I would almost imagine that an olive and a white would work fairly good.